incredible to be back at the Pillow, a space that has a 92, almost 100-year history of supporting dance. And now in 2023, circus. And this circus is an exploration and a celebration of Black music as medicine. I had an idea of what would a circus look like in the Underground Railroad, and thinking of it from a liberated space versus a space of suppression, structural violence, all of the things that are in our consciousness about this history on this land. And I wanted to lift up the joy. There had to have been joy, because you cannot survive that level of violence without some access to joy. So how do you access that joy? Through music and through dance. So our muse, Harriet Tubman, who was the conductor of the Underground Railroad, also known as Black Moses as one term, her family called her Minty. And that's where the name came from, Minty for Harriet Tubman, and fresh because Black people have always had to reinvent themselves, so they are perpetually fresh.
Monique is my older sister, and we have grown up with a mother who loved theater. And so we've had this really wonderful upbringing in arts and culture. And she went in the direction of theater, of producing and directing and stage managing, also a wonderful writer, and I went in the direction of dance.
I actually met Monique through Tracy. I met Tracy many, many years ago in New York City club scene, just being out dancing, sharing, doing the whole, all right, all of that. And she shared with me her idea of a circus that would focus and center not just African-American dance, but the music.
Now here's a real good guy on about 15, a great grandmammy was a die-homey queen. Just look at her face, she sure ain't homely. Like she in the Bible, she's black but comely, bitter men. Gonna start at 3, now here's 3. Step up, Chance, take a good look, see, cause I know you want her once you see her. She's young and right, big, dirty, good breeder, bitter men. She's good in fields, she can sew and cook.
It is so much fun to elevate the idea of fusing circus arts and dance.
Normally our movement, it's like African dance, and then all the circus skills combined. And now this week we try to lock pop, and all those things, and theater.
For me, it's really interesting and challenging to create and set a template where none have existed. We're kind of playing around and making this meal with a whole bunch of different ingredients that we think will be really tasty by the time it's done.
There's something about being in a creative environment that is remote, that you don't have access to your normal life, that allows you to focus if you surrender. And it's gorgeous this time of year. It's winter, we've had snow, we've had fog.
It's wonderful to see the connections that the artists are making with each other.
It was like an instant family bond. We all have different skills, different trades, and we're learning from each other.
A young man from this area, Glendale Jones, and one of the acrobats, baby, they have become best friends.
Yep, in 2 days.
In 2 days.
One of the metaphors that I'm using is flight patterns of birds. And that also amplifies the idea of nonverbal communication and how Black folks have had to move in silence, move without amplifying their emotions. That also looks at the great migration of folks moving from the south to the north. That was a quiet journey.
We have been very clear about one is intricately and intrinsically connected to the other. So there's no separation. Even if someone is a little slower in that murmuration, in that flocking, they're still kind of swept up in the eddy, in the movement that we all are creating.
We also have been looking at another nonverbal communication, and that is what people know as the DAP, the handshake. Black soldiers during Vietnam were prohibited from doing the Black Power fist by their sergeants. So they created the DAP, which means dignity and pride. It means I am not above you, I am not below you, we're together.
Yeah! We're here because of you.
One of the discoveries that we found is that Jacob's Pillow sits on a very sacred site. This was one of the stops on the Underground Railroad. And that continues to just blow my mind and move me, as you can see, because Minty, she was here. So we thank her. And all of those brave folks who said, there's another way. Liberation is possible.
To come here this time and walk in the room and I'm on the screen, it was a sweet surprise that brought tears to my eyes. I was a part of the first hip hop dance program here at Jacob's Pillow for the Cultural Traditions Summer Program. It's amazing to see myself.
2015, my first time here at Jacob's Pillow, teaching a locking class, Cultural Traditions, and I look back and like, wow, okay. Yeah, that was good. You were teaching right. You had some good energy.
In the library here, we watch a lot of group were here before us. Hopefully, the next generation will watch us too.